I'm Riley Evan Ross. Jabee Williams is an interesting dude. I first knew about him as a rapper, but he's so much more than that. He's a rapper, an entrepreneur, an actor, an event planner, a restaurateur, a community activist, and so much more. Over the holidays, he put on a local 5-city tour called Gift Wraps to benefit various Oklahoma homeless communities. He was named in the Oklahoma Gazette's 40 Under 40. He's just doing things, you know. He's invested in the community in a big way, time and money, and it's just been really inspiring. And his involvement in the community has always been a part of his mission.
As far as Oklahoma City, I think it's important for us to build those bridges with each other. I think it's important for us to have those uncomfortable conversations. I think that it's important for us to, you know, if something's wrong, you know, call it wrong and call it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If somebody's just taking up space, you know what I'm saying, and trying to be cool and, you know, and somebody next to them is hurting, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, do something, say something about it, you know what I mean?
Despite the fact that he's worked with such hip-hop heavyweights like Chuck D and LP, Jabee stays connected to Oklahoma City. He's trying to make waves and advance his career and do it on his own terms.
When I'm not rapping, I think it's important that, you know, I don't just be a rapper. You know, I think it's important that I do other things and, you know, show kids who see me out that you can own your own business. You know what I'm saying? You can. You know, we were homeless. You know what I'm saying? You know, me and my pops wasn't around. Mm-hmm. You can go through all that stuff. You can go through all that stuff and you can own your own business. You can travel the world. You know what I mean? Like, you know, all these things that, you know, I never thought I could do.
This is Y'all Okay. Howdy, friends and neighbors. Welcome to Y'all Okay, the podcast about Oklahoma and the people connected to it. I am Riley Evan Ross, and I'm talking today with Jabee Williams. Jabee's huge in this scene. If you're not familiar, go over to the YouTubes and check out his videos. I'd say, you know, start with Monumental, Exhausted, Tried So Hard is good, is just like fantastic. I was really happy that we got to talk a little bit about his artistic process and his video making process, which I find completely fascinating. In preparation for this, I found that by Googling Jabee, you'll get a ton of stories and results, which give a peek into what he's had to endure in his life. And that's part of why I wanted to talk to him. We got connected through friend of the show, Denver Duncan, because they used to make music together and hang together before Denver moved to D.C. And so I knew that Jabee and I were about the same age, and we ran in a lot of the same circles, but had vastly different upbringings. And I'm imagining that he had given the fact that most of my audience is white and in their 30s, probably had a vastly different upbringing from you as well. I grew up in the southwest Oklahoma City suburbs, and you know, he grew up in and around the northeast side and the capital area, right, you know, well before the 23rd Street area became what it is today. So, I found it fascinating and uplifting, and I hope you do too. I'll probably end my intro there and just let Jabee's interview and story stand on its own. We met at the auditorium at the Douglas, which is a beautiful new venue on the northeast side. If you haven't been, you got to go. Follow Jabee on Instagram at My Name is Jabee and at Jabee Likes Food as well to see all his cheese fries and pizza and cupcakes and stuff like that. I do have one final thing to say. I have 2 more interviews this season. The next is with Natalie Kent of Nominee creative design firm in Oklahoma City, and then Doug Sirocco of Dunlap Cotting. And it's super exciting to edit those and put those out into the world. So subscribe and stay tuned. You know what would go great with those interviews? And that is a subscription to Roast Scout. If you love coffee, then I can't recommend Roast Scout enough. Go to roastscout.com/yallok and sign up to get 3 months of a small batch roasted coffee sent right to your front door from roasteries all over the United States. It just so happens that the January dispatch came in just last week, and it's an Ethiopian heirloom variety from Mariposa Coffee right here in Oklahoma City. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So that's roastscout.com/yallok for 1 free month. And that's a great deal for supporters of the show. Again, that's roastscout.com/YALLOK. Without any more delay, here's my interview with Jabee.
Thanks for having me out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I had no idea that this was over here. I didn't know what was going on here or anything.
Yeah, I think it's been about a little over a year.
Yeah.
That I've been here.
I was talking a little bit with Kimberly beforehand, and she was saying that I said, "How long has this been?" You know, because everything looks new and pristine here at the Douglas, and she was saying that, like July 2017 is when things kicked off.
Yeah, it's been good, man. You know, I mainly focus on like the community part, getting community events inside of the auditorium and the event space downstairs.
Yeah.
So I help with that, but that's it, man.
How's that going?
It's going good, man. We had a lot of stuff. We had a comedy show on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, really for real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're working on doing it. Later on today, I'm having a meeting with some people. We're going to show the Last Defense, the Julius Jones documentary that Viola Davis did. So we're going to show that. And, working on some stuff for the elections and stuff like that.
Oh, so, nice, dude.
Yeah.
It seems to be like there's a lot of venues popping up. So, like, obviously, you know, you're quite involved with the Tower Theater, and they do everything there, movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then that place that opened up, what's it called? It had
Jones Assembly.
So there's the Jones, but
Criterion.
There's that. I mean, you're just reinforcing my point even more. I was down in the stockyards. Oh, Rodeo.
Oh, I went there the other day. Yeah, Rodeo is dope. Yeah.
And that's just a movie theater too. But I guess you can do other events there. I think it's just cool that this like so many venues and opportunities for art are sort of like presenting themselves.
Yeah.
So I didn't do like a proper introduction. I'm sitting here with Jabee Williams. Welcome to the YallokPodcast podcast.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thanks for taking some time. Whenever you and I first started talking about this, I mean, luckily we had to cancel the first one because you had a gig in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's cool though, man.
Yeah.
If you get the chance to, I mean, you seem to do a lot of touring. Like,
yeah. I've been slowing down recently just because I'm trying to... Because I can say I have an album coming out in 2019, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
And so I know whenever the album comes out, then I'll do a lot of touring. You know, it'll be heavy. So I want to get as much stuff done as I can here. Not only that, you know, just kind of wait. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, like, well, even you know, you might do something. You know, I might do a show in North Carolina, you know, tomorrow, and they're like, well, we just had you 6 months ago, so let's wait. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh, yeah.
So I want to make sure that, you know, I have everything ready for when it's time to hit the road for the album. So
Right.
Yeah.
Public speaking, I try to do a little bit of that, and that's very similar. Like, if you get a gig at a school, you're probably not going to be expected to be there the same, you know, like next year or even in 2 years, you know, that sort of thing. I'm interested to know, like, as a live musician, how much of I don't know why this is a weird place to start. You know what? No.
What?
But let me start with, you know, kind of the script. So, where'd you grow up, man?
I grew up here in Oklahoma City.
Which part?
The east side mainly, but we moved around a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I went to I think 11 Oklahoma City public schools.
Whoa.
So when I moved around a lot, but most of my family was here on the east, and we stayed on the east the majority of the time. Like, we would move to the south, then move back over here, and move to the north, and move back over here. So
where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school at Northeast High School and Northwest Classroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, did you end up graduating?
I graduated from Northwest Classroom.
Northwest Classroom.
Yeah.
That's like a a lot of people went to Northwest Class and graduated from there.
Yeah, a lot of people. And for me, like, I think for me, Northwest Classroom is like the melting pot. Like, there's everybody over there, like all different. Like, it was a culture shock for me. Like, even just bouncing around for so many schools. Like, whenever I was over here, you know, it was all black. Go to the South Side, it was black, but, you know, majority Hispanic or Mexican. You know, North Side schools, we was all black. But then when I got to Northwest Classroom, it was like everybody, like blacks, Asians, natives, Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was. I felt like it was pretty like even. I didn't feel like there was like one more than the other. There probably was, but it didn't feel like it. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tight. So
that's cool. You know, that kind of bleeds into part of the reason. Like, you know, I'm not a gigantic hip hop guy. I know a bit. Like, I know the basics. But you know, one of the main drivers of the reason that I wanted to talk to you is, one, your community involvement, and then two, I think you and I are pretty close to the same age. And you know, I grew up in the burbs. I went to school at Westmore. Like, despite the fact that we both like grew up in and around Oklahoma City, I'm pretty sure you and I had vastly different experiences. Yeah, right? Yeah. Which is why I'm here. And I think like most of the people that grew up in that southwest part of town, like way southwest, south of Southwest 89th, most of us had, you know, pretty like just good white experiences. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think if you're white, you probably have a good white experience.
Right. Yeah. And so I mean, so that's part of it. I'm interested in like, when did you start rapping? Like, I know that your big influences, you talk about Tupac a lot.
Yeah. I wrote my first rap when I was like 7. And that's when I stopped listening to rap music and, you know, trying to rap since I was 7. Yeah. Around high school, like 15, 16 is when I started like recording music.
Oh yeah.
I remember like when I was like 11, I would look in the phone book and try to find studios and stuff like that. And like, I'm coming next week, but you know, I didn't have any. I didn't really understand that, like, you know, you had to have money and like scheduling. I was just a kid. Like, all I knew was you needed a studio, you know? Right. So I would look them up, and they probably got tired of me calling.
Oh, that's awesome.
But when I got like 15 and 14, 15, you know, I had cousins and friends who were, you know, doing it and going to studios and recording, and so I started going around that time, and shortly after that, I started doing shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's early, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of shows? Like, where would they be? What did the scene look like back then?
So there was a couple different, you know, there was a couple different scenes, I guess. So you had just like the rap scene where, you know, it was back then, it was probably more so like, battles, you know, you had to go somewhere and battle somebody.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was the rap scene. Majority of the time was battles. Then there was concerts where you would open up for people. So we would do some of that. Then there was, you know, talent shows were really big. Do some of those. What else did we do? And then there was, you know, we would put on our own shows. And then there was also like this party scene, like dance scene, pretty much, or like, I guess back then you would think of it like a rave scene, I guess.
Right. Okay.
And so they would rent out like these warehouses and stuff, and they would have, you know, the big room was the dance room, and then they had, you know, like a jungle room and a break beats room, and then they had like a hip hop room, and in the hip hop room we would go on this, you know, on the mic MC.
Yeah.
For the DJ and stuff like that. A lot of churches would have like rap competitions and stuff like that too. Yeah. So I mean, it was just wherever you can get on the mic and do something back then, that you was doing it. You know what I mean? Like, there was really, and it was like once a month. You know, it wasn't like now, like where it's like every night is something going on.
Sure.
It's a rap show going on and 30 rappers in there. Like, it was like once a month, you knew who was going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if it was at the dance, the party scene at 2:00 in the morning, you knew which rappers were going to be there. If it was a touring concert and we were opening up, we knew who would be there. If it was a battle in a club, you knew who the battlers were,
right?
Who you got to battle. If it was an open mic, if it was a church having a rap competition, you knew who was going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I did them all.
Was it just like all the same dudes and stuff? Or?
For the most part, there was probably like 5 or 6, that were consistent. But each scene probably had like a couple, like 2 or 3 that would be there. So,
right.
Yeah, but for the most part, it was always the same people that you knew who were going to be there.
When did you feel like, man, I can do this. I can do this. This could be my life. Like, I could pay my bills doing this and all that sort of thing.
When I bought a car,
yeah,
with rap money. So I think the first time I got paid was at one of those rave party type shows. And I think I got like $100, and all I did was just MC. I didn't even perform. I just kind of freestyle while the dude was DJing.
Yeah,
and they put my name on the flyer. And I was like, that's cool,
Yeah.
I'll keep my job at Pizza Hut, and I'll rap at the parties on the weekends, when I get off. So that was cool. And then the next, I'm sure I got paid after that, but the next time I remember getting paid was I had a show in Rhode Island. I was with a crew called Culture Shock Camp, and there was myself, my brother Duo, my brother Keys, Brian Freejo. I think it was just and I think MC1 might have just been us 5, and that was like our crew. So we would do stuff together all the time, but they were big, like in the native scene, like really big, and they would have like shows at different conferences all over the country, and different events and native events all over the country.
Really?
Yeah, and tribes and organizations would fly everybody out for them. You know what I mean? So that was my first time, like actually like traveling for music too.
Yeah.
And so I remember the first time we got to Rhode Island, and we did the show. And then on the way back, before we got on the plane, he handed us all checks. And it was like $500. And I was like, dang, like.
So you got travel paid, plus $500.
And I was thinking, dang, I just made $500 for rapping, like. And I just thought I was just I was happy to get the flight and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And so, and I was thinking, man, if I'm making $5, well, he got to be making more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I'm adding up all the flights and how much I'm thinking, man, this could be something, you know what I mean? I was the person I really started thinking, like, okay, I got to get to a point to where, like, I'm worth that much. Like, because I don't even feel like, I don't remember what I did, you know what I'm saying, that at that show, but I remember feeling like, I got to be the top person, you know what I'm saying? I got to be the one that hands out the checks, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's whenever I started, kind of just, like, trying to form my mind around, trying to understand, my potential and, what this music could do.
Right.
So.
Oh man, that's cool.
So that's when I realized, man, I could do this for a living. Now that was probably, 2003. So.
Okay.
It took probably like, I didn't like start doing music full time until 2013. So it took 10 years for me to feel comfortable with, like, walking out of my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, absolutely.
Yeah. But there were other things that happened along the way, you know what I'm saying, that, helped motivate me and made me realize I could really do this. But those 2 times that are like really defined in my mind of, you know what I'm saying, as I can do this for real.
I like that subject of doing what you do as art, and, like, I'm interested in the idea of, like, when does a thing switch from hobby or just something that I like to do to like a legitimate art form.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't even think I'm there yet. People always, especially rappers always ask me about stuff like that, but I don't even feel like I'm there yet. You know what I mean? I have highs and lows. I have, I might have 2 months where like I'm just, what I'm saying, I'm doing good, and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna go buy 2 gold chains, and you know what I'm saying, all this. Then like, I might have 2 months where I'm like, dang, like I should have did this with that. I should have did that with this money, or I'm gonna take my kids to do this, and you know what I'm saying. Then it's like, well, dang, I should just, So I'm not. I don't feel like I'm quite there yet. Like there's still ups and downs. I still do things to try to supplement income in the meantime and in between time.
Yeah.
But so I, it's still definitely like just, passion and me trying to figure things out still right now. I think the idea is that if it is your passion, you should be able to live off of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I've come across other things I love doing too. And I'm trying to figure out how to monetize those, like food and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I want to figure out how to monetize that stuff and understand it,
Talk to me about the food. So one, you got an Instagram account, Jabee Likes Food, which is cool. You just posted a pic of some cheese fries or something like that.
Yeah, that was what was that? That was the kimchi fries.
Oh, where's that?
At Chicken Beer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good.
I need to check that out.
Yeah.
But you're also opening a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Or at least involved in.
I'm opening up too. Yeah.
Tell me about those.
So, the first restaurant is a poke restaurant.
Okay.
And the second restaurant is a pizza restaurant. I have partners in both concepts. The partnership I have for the poke is a friend of mine. He's from LA. Mm-hmm. I've known him for about 10 years probably.
Yeah.
And he used to do clothes. He had a brand called I Am King Clothing.
Okay.
And he would send me clothes all the time. I think I met him at South by Southwest, or I might just send him music one day. But I found him because a lot of rappers were wearing his clothes. Like I think first time I saw like Kendrick Lamar had it on.
Oh, right.
I remember I was in Atlanta, and I met Mac Miller. He had a shirt on that was a Mac, like he did a collab with Mac Miller.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, man, I gotta talk to them, like.
Yeah. And
so I hit him up, and we just started to build a friendship. You know what I'm saying? And he would send me clothes. I remember one time I was out there in LA. I hit him up. I was like, what's going on? He was like, he would do like these. He had a big warehouse. He would do like these like days where like everything in the warehouse was on sale, and there would be like this long line of kids like from like 7 a.m. trying to get in line to go and get the clothes, And I remember going one day, and I remember seeing this line going, dang, this is crazy. And I texted him, and he was like, just come on in. Like, he came in, he handed me a bag, said, get whatever you want. And I walked out, and I skipped the line. I had this big old bag of clothes, you know what I'm saying?
That feels good.
Yeah, it was just so cool, man. And so, one day I looked up, and he wasn't doing clothes anymore. He was doing food. And I was like, what happened? He's like, he sold the brand, you know what I'm saying, to another company and started doing food. So when I went to LA, he took me to his poke restaurant.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I gotta get this in Oklahoma. This was probably like 2014 maybe. Yeah,
poke hadn't taken off.
He was like one of the first ones, and like he invented a few things too that went viral, like the poke donut or the sushi donut.
Yeah,
that's his.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was like, maybe I get these in Oklahoma. And he was like, yeah, I mean, like, if you think it'll work. And so, we would just talk and text about it. Well, whenever the development started happening on the east side, I was like, A, we have to have black people on the business.
Yeah.
And B, I got to get my homie out here, which he's an Asian guy. But
it's Andy
Nguyen, yeah. And so Andy was like, I'll do it if you're a partner with me in the ownership. And I was like, heck yeah, let's do it then, And so we were able to get it going, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just drove by the other day and demolition started. So there's that, and then I'm partnering with Pie 5 Pizza to do a pizza over there too.
Oh, cool. You know Apollo.
Yeah, I know
Woods,
Apollo. Yeah, I know Apollo real well.
OKC Black Eats,
Yeah.
and how he was. We talked a lot about that and the importance of like black-owned businesses and in the city, and that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Have you always been into food or no?
I mean, I've always liked food, you know. I love to eat, but I never really had an idea to even do anything. But what it was that, you know, I wanted to, you know, be at the table for these meetings and be involved and make sure that, you know, that things were done with the community in mind. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how, you know, that was, you know, the main reason I even started. But with the food, I've always liked food, but I never had an idea to open up my restaurant, you know what I'm saying, or a restaurant, you know what I mean? I never had the idea to, you know what I'm saying, I cook, but I'm not a chef, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But I love food, I love looking at it, I love eating it, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a cool track. When I started doing the Instagram thing, I hadn't even decided on a restaurant yet. You know what I'm saying? And I might have a third restaurant that I don't want to say yet because we're still working on it. But
okay.
But I hadn't even gotten that far with, you know, a restaurant. I just like traveling and eating different things.
Yeah.
And I was a lot bigger before. I lost like 70 pounds.
Oh, cool.
And so after I lost weight, you know, I wanted to be able to eat, show good food, show that you can eat what you want and still maintain, you know, you know, your diet and stuff. So it was all that stuff mixed in one. And like I said, before it was JB Likes Food, my initial idea was to do JB Likes Cake because I just love cakes and stuff. And I would follow, my whole Instagram was like Tupac and cakes. Like that's all I was seeing in my story is like, because I would follow all these Tupac fan pages and all these different cake pages. And so like all day in my story was Tupac and cake. And so I went to this conference and I would post food on my page and stuff too. So I went to this hip hop conference. They had a lady there talking about like Instagram and social media. And, you know, she was saying how you want to keep your brand separate. And I didn't realize I didn't realize that for me posting food was even a thing until somebody said it. They're like, man, I love the food you post. I was like, I'm looking, I said, I haven't posted food in weeks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that let me know like people were paying attention, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, maybe I could just do I can keep my Instagram that I have now one way and then maybe start a cake page where I post cakes, you know?
Right.
And I was like, man, I could post cakes, food, chips, nachos, everything, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. And, you know, then in the meantime, I was working on the restaurant thing. So it just happened. It's going to all tie together, man. It's just kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's tie it together. I got a couple thoughts. So you're definitely really involved in the community. We were talking off mic about how, you know, you talked with David Holt not too long ago. You seem to be involved in in a lot of community stuff. And so I was listening to some of your stuff on YouTube, and you have this song called "Exhausted,"
Mm-hmm.
and in "Exhausted" you reference Fred Hampton,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, a lot of people our age, especially let me just back up. A lot of white folks our age don't know who Fred Hampton is, and he was a Black Panther in Chicago, and he was assassinated by the Chicago police. But like a big part of what he did was he wasn't just involved in like Black Panther stuff. Like he was a social organizer,
Right.
and he like pulled in a lot of, I can't remember what it was, but like a couple of white groups for workers' rights, some Appalachian coal miners,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And I thought it was really
The gangs, he pulled the gangs together too.
yeah, except like the Mexican gangs,
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I thought it was one, obviously like very tragic, but I thought his story was great. But what I see from you and like your community involvement is like you pull in a lot of folks. I mean, we talk about Denver Duncan, who's
Mm-hmm.
just like white Jason Mraz type guy.
Yeah.
and just like, you don't seem bashful about having any conversations about anything. And I think it's even more powerful. Like, you're here in Oklahoma City doing it. Like, you haven't left to go anywhere. You rap about Oklahoma City. It's in your music videos. Like, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I think, you know, for one, like Fred Hampton's story, every time I like either, you know, read it or I think about it, I'm just like, you know, it's just crazy that you could do that to somebody. You know what I mean? And it inspires me to continue, you know, what I'm doing. But the idea is, for one, the reason why I put, you know, him and people like that in my music is because I didn't learn about Fred Hampton in school.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? I learned about him through music, you know, through rappers that I listened to would, you know, say his name. And I was like, who is it? And through just me wanting to know more about the Panthers and things like that. And I wanted to learn more about them because in school they made them seem like they were criminals.
Yeah, like a terrorist organization or something.
But everybody that I was around, like, you know, my parents and music and stuff, they never talked about them like that. So I had to, you know, read up and study my own. You know what I'm saying? So, so there's that. And then, you know, things like that, you know, will just motivate you to be bold about, you know, certain issues in your community. It will motivate you to want to bring people together and not, you know, be people that that don't, you know, just take up space and don't do anything, and so concerned with being cool. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Like, it's like that stuff doesn't change lives. You know what I mean? And so I feel like my you know, my platform needs to be the community. My platform needs to be, you know, people who don't have anything, because I didn't. You know what I'm saying? My platform needs to be Black people first, because I'm Black. You know what I'm saying? And with that, you know, help to educate people and also show people you can have all those things, and, you know, involve people who don't look like you, and involve people who don't come from the same background. You know, I've learned a lot from, you know, being around people like Denver. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, I learned his son said something one time, and I used it in a rap because I was like, that's so crazy. Like, that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I think Denver asked him, he was like, what did he say? He said something like, what are you doing? And he was like, I don't know what I'm doing until I do it. And I was like, dang, like, that's how I feel every day. You know, when people ask, so what you got going now? What you doing? I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing until I do it, you know?
Yeah.
But there are people like, you know, like Denver and David who, you know, we can learn from, and we can also educate. You know, one of my best friends, her name is Maisie Bross, and she's an older white lady. She started a thing called Whiz Kids, where you know, they would put, you know, churches together, like, you know, I guess like an inner city church and a suburban church, and they would come together to tutor kids in that community.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I've had, you know, kids that I've mentored that went to Whiz Kids, and you know what I mean, cool. And all that stuff. And, you know, it's still around. I remember I was like a teenager helping her with that stuff, you know. But she would always say, you know, because I would always want to learn, like, from her, like, you know, just things I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because growing up, you know, I had an idea of white people. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, what I saw in Young and the Restless. You know what I'm saying? That was my idea of white people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would learn from her, and she would always say, she was learning from me. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. That's that's a really good way to look at things. You know what I'm saying? And like right now, one of my best friends is a Mexican dude. You know what I'm saying? From the South Side, and I grew up around Mexican kids and stuff like that, but there are still things I'm learning from him. You know what I mean? And things he's learning from me. And, I think that it's important, especially for Oklahoma City. I don't really know about any other place. But as far as Oklahoma City, I think it's important for us to build those bridges with each other. I think it's important for us to have those uncomfortable conversations. I think that it's important for us to, if something's wrong, call it wrong and call it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. If somebody's just taking up space, you know what I'm saying, and trying to be cool, and and somebody next to them is hurting, you know what I'm saying, like, do something, say something about it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't have all the answers, you know what I'm saying, but I do know that that it's important for me and my platform to I mean, I not to say I have a platform, but if I do have one, it's important that I spend more time trying to be a catalyst than just being a rapper. You know what I mean? So rap is cool. I love it. I'll do it, until I don't have a voice and I'm, laying on my deathbed, I'll be rapping. You know what I'm saying? But that's just one part of who I am. You know, I'm not just a rapper. And I don't just use rap to rhyme words. I use it to get a message out and tell a story. And I think that's important. And when I'm not rapping, I think it's important that, I don't just be a rapper. I think it's important that I do other things and, show kids who see me out that you can own your own business. You know what I'm saying? You can, we were homeless. You know what I'm saying? Me and my pops wasn't around. You can go through all that stuff. You can go through all that stuff and you can own your own business. You can travel the world. You know what I mean? Like, all these things that, I never thought I could do, so.
Man, that's awesome. That's a great sentiment. I have one last, I want to be respectful of your time. I got one last artistic type question and then my final 5, which we can blast through.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, I love your videos. I mean, you're talking about saying something with your voice and with your platform, and that video Tried So Hard. That's tough. I mean, the concept of people pleasing is something that I think a lot of people can relate with. But also within that message, you're saying some real shit. It was just good.
Yeah, we did that. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, please.
I was gonna say we shot 2 other videos for that song.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Completed 2 other full videos, and they just weren't the ones,
Well, talk to me about that, because I'm interested. Your videos are good, so I'm interested in the whole video making process. You don't have to describe everything, but just as an artist, whenever you come up with some bars, are you thinking about what the visual representation of that should be, or how does that come about?
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I'm just writing, and all that stuff comes later. I wish I could if I shoot a video, and I have friends who shoot videos for every song, and they got endless amounts of money to spend on videos. Everybody I've ever shot was a favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why I have to pick and choose what videos I shoot. Because I may only be able to do one video for an album because I just can't afford it. You know what I mean? And,
absolutely.
So with that one, me and my friend Todd, we shot one because I had the first idea. So when I wrote that song, I was in Tucson, and I recorded it in Tucson, and then I had a show in San Francisco. When I was in San Francisco, I hadn't put it out yet. I haven't put it out, but I was listening to it in my headphones and stuff. And I remember I would go. There was this. I don't remember where I was. There was like a trail, and so I was running this trail, and I was running the trail, listening to the song and listening to the words, and remember how I felt when I wrote it and why I wrote it, and and it was just, and so like I was thinking this could be the video. So the first video was kind of like that, like, it was just me like running and like, just kind of breaking through different things in my life.
All right.
And I was like, we shot it. I was like, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, man, like, let's do it where, I'm walking past all these different situations that I had to deal with, So we did a video where my homie was getting arrested and mistreated by the police, and, girls was trying to holler at me, and people was trying to fight me, and we shot it and looked at it, it's like, that's not the one.
Yeah.
and so and then I was going to the gym, and for some reason I wanted to hear Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Yeah.
And so I put the video on, and I was like, man, like that's it. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like that video was the inspiration for it.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, yo, like, what if I just do it in the dark with just my face?
Yeah.
And I was like, just, rapping in it. You could see, like, the expressions on my face of how I was feeling as I was rapping. And then I was like, what if I just call out everybody who said something about me in the song and have them there but not there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's how I got the idea to, do the writing and, the hitting and punching and stuff. So
yeah, it's a really rough, emotional video for sure. But yeah, so I'd encourage everybody to check out all those. Like Exhausted's good. I really like what's that song with LP? Stephanie,
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was my friend Steve Jones who did that one. And the same thing, like
that Monument videos too, with the drone shot with OKC in the background.
Yeah.
That's a really good one too.
Yeah. So like I said, like everything I've ever done, video wise has just been people just wanting to help me and, donate time and stuff. So
that's cool. All right, final 5 here. They're not exactly rapid fire, but do you got a morning routine?
Yeah. Wake up, check messages. I lay in bed and scroll through, social media for a little bit, get up, and then I will, depending on the morning, I'll try to go to the gym first.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just whatever I have lined up that day.
Nice. What's the evening routine like?
Depends on the day. Usually, if it's a weekend, I'm either like event shows or I have my kids, and we'll probably do something during the day, and then we will, chill at the house at nighttime and let them play together and, do that. If that's the case, then Sunday night and Monday night, I might, go like to Pony Boy, chill, have an old fashioned, you know what I'm saying, then go home.
Yeah.
Same with like a Monday, I might, get all my stuff done, have an old fashioned and go home. So
yeah, I like a good old fashioned. What's your favorite book? Or one of?
One of my favorite books is Slaughterhouse-5.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like that book. Asada is a great book. To Die for the People is a good book. Malcolm X biography is a great book. Also, another favorite book is Soul on Ice. It's a great book. So those are the ones I've probably read multiple times.
All right.
So,
I think we might have already mentioned it. Favorite musical artist?
Definitely Tupac. Right now, like just who I listen to a lot right now is a rapper named Mozzie. I like him a lot, but my favorite of all time is Tupac. Who else do I like? I like a lot of people, man. Brother Ali, LP, MF Doom, Nas.
Yeah, you met Nas this year, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
That's cool.
at the Westbrook party.
At Russell Westbrook's party.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. That was a weird night, yo.
That did. That seemed like a weird night.
Cause it was like raining. Well, it was like cause I wasn't gonna go because I had got the invitation, but I didn't know it was real. I was like somebody's saying it's a rest because people do it all the time. They were like they'll put out party flyers and it'll be like the official Thunder after party, Thunder players invited, and it's like, man, like,
come on,
yeah, it's not real, But then they had his logo on there, and I was like, man, you can't just use his logo like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was like, I don't remember who I talked to. It might have been Ray. I think I text Ray, and I was like, yo, is y'all having a party? He was like, yeah, having a party. And so I was like, all right, but I had my kids too that night, and so I was like, man, I'm not gonna go to the party. I'm gonna stay with my kids.
Yeah. And
then I saw somebody tweet, Nas is in Oklahoma, and I was like, I said he's here for Westbrook. I gotta go.
Right. He's not just chilling.
Yeah, he's not like there's nothing going on. You know what I'm saying?
Shows,
so I said, man, I gotta go. So I text Ray. I go, y'all got Nas? He's like, just come. And so I got two of my friends. We just went. It was raining. It was cool, man. It was weird. Yo. It was just like I didn't know what to expect. People was like people were dressed up. I just had on like a hoodie. You know what I mean? But it was cool.
Hey man, if that's your personal brand, it works.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
What's your favorite spot in Oklahoma?
Spot to
anything, like where I've gotten backyard pools. I've gotten Mount Scott. I've gotten Mickey Dollins really likes the Midtown area. Some people say Plaza District. I mean,
Plaza used to be good. I mean, there's like three things in the Plaza that are cool right now. That's Empire, No Regrets, Bad Grannies, and Roxy's. I mean, like, most of this cool stuff is not even there no more. But let me think. Favorite spot right now, probably Uptown. Just like 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's just
you hang out a lot at the tower.
Yeah, so. It's just tight to see, what's going on. I'm ready for Northeast to get popping. I'm gonna be over there. You know what I'm saying? All day. So
yeah, man.
So that'll be if you ask me this next year, this time, I'll say Northeast. We have a name we're working on for the little district.
Yeah.
So we're trying to.
Oh, that's cool.
We're trying to make sure that's what we want to go with, but. We'll have a name to say. So one day I'll be able to say, is this, you know what I'm saying? So,
all right, cool. Well, Jabee, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks you so much. On. Yeah, it was a good interview, man.
I appreciate it.
Are we watching a movie?
No, I'm gonna watch Ken Burns.
It's not really good.
You don't think Ken Burns is good?
I don't want to watch Ken Burns. You can't watch Ken Burns.
Thanks so much to Jabee and the fine folks at the auditorium at the Douglas. Thanks to the good folks at Roast Scout for their support. You can go to roastscout.com/yallok for a sweet deal on the first month free of a 3-month subscription. And we'll end it there. If you want, look me up on Insta at r_e_ross or the Yallok page on Facebook. And until next time, don't be a stranger.